Oakes, and I am a licensed professional counselor here at Transformations Counseling, and I have been here about 3 years now. I became a therapist because I really enjoy helping people, watching them grow, watching them gain insight into themselves, watching them discover new things about themselves and their environment, watching them figure out what they can control and how they can work to better themselves. And I enjoy helping people along in that process for themselves. I am passionate about being a therapist because I have always been interested in the human mind and how it comes to the conclusions that it comes to, how our mind helps us to cope or helps us to cope in maladaptive ways, whatever the case may be, and how do we go through that with new goals and positive behaviors, and that we really can have the control over our minds and our behavior that we hope that we can. I use a variety of counseling approaches. The first thing to remember is that there's not one size fits all and everyone is different. So you have to really figure out what's going to be best for the client. So I like to start with a person-centered approach. And this is just really about you are the expert in your life. I'm not in your life. I'm not in your head. You are the expert for that. And you're the one who's going to be going through everything and gaining the insight. And you're the really focus of the session, which sounds kind of obvious, but it's a different approach, really focusing on what you are the expert of. I also like to work with dialectical behavior therapy, and this is really going to work with concentrating on your emotions, gaining insight into why you do the behaviors that you do and what you think about them. And when we work to change a behavior, change an attitude, change a thought process, similar to cognitive behavioral therapy, we can then change the rest. And it really helps you gain control over your life when you're feeling like things are out of control. Dialectical behavior therapy was invented to help specifically borderline personality disorder, and it is wonderful for that, but it is not only for that, and really helps with a lot of people, PTSD, anxiety, anger, and I find it very beneficial. I also like to focus on gender affirming therapy. I like to make my office a safe place for anyone who is not comfortable yet coming out in public, anyone who's going through difficult situations, and I really like to make this a safe place for people. I first help clients achieve their goals by recognizing what the goal is, because very often people will come in with a goal of, I want to be happy, which is great, and it's good to have that attitude, but what does that mean? How will you know when you get there? So breaking down those goals into measurable goals is the first thing that I want to do. And the second thing I want to do is to really help people, again, change their thinking and change their behaviors. So ask yourself, what is going to be more helpful for me right now to achieve my goal? Is it going to be this thing that I usually do, or can I make that change and I have that motivation to make that change and really move towards my helpful goals? During our first session, there is the typical getting to know you. I want to know the history. I want to know what your presenting concerns are. But it's also about really feeling each other out. You know, if I'm going to be a good fit for you because you're the one who's going to be doing the work, you're the one who's going to be going through all of this, and I am not in your head. So you are the expert. And so really figuring out if we're going to be the right fit. And if I'm not the right fit for you, I don't take offense to that. You know, we have to do what is best for you. But if we are the right fit, then we can work to move forward. The types of clients I usually work with would be young adults in their 20s and 30s approximately. I usually do individual therapy and or couples therapy. And the disorders that I usually work with, complex trauma. I love to do EMDR therapy with people. It's very helpful. And I like to help people with their anxiety and really changing that thinking to help them gain more control.